The lady, she brought her 18-month-old son, and he was running around during the workshop. Nobody cared. They're all leaders. They're fine. So I was explaining, if you smile, they'll love you. And at that moment, the little kid was coming right up here. And so I said, and the little boy went. So I picked up the little boy, perfect truth. And when I held him, I realized he had crapped in his pants. Didn't always work out perfect. But if you smile, you got it. And that's why some people with $1 million smile just seem to make connections. And you see this. Sometimes a lady can move one eyebrow and smile, total rapport just like that. Engineer nerds like me, we didn't get that in school. But we have to do it the hard way with facts. So, how many people here can smile? Oh boy, we need work. All right, so basic smile, 13 muscles this side, 13 muscles this side, show a little bit of teeth and pretend to be sincere. That would be a smile, right? Now, we're going to do a little experiment here. Don't have time to mention the programs, but I want you to feel what happens when somebody smiles, how good it feels. So can we do a little experiment? I'd like everybody here to make the biggest, broadest, widest Cheshire cat grin you possibly can. Really big. Make it hurt. Bigger. Painfully big. Huge. And turn to the person next to you and look him in the face. All right, that was pretty easy, wasn't it? Now, what happened? Did you feel good? We don't know why, but we felt good. If you can master a simple fact and master another simple fact and smile, your prospect has no chance. This could be illegal. You can go to a party with 100 strangers and in less than an hour be in total bonded rapport with all 100 people. They all love you. And it's very simple, the rapport skill. So how many people here think that'd be pretty cool? Let's get better. We're the pros, right? You want to qualify for a why quicker, so you can also command the back of their mind with special words. Are you ready? Let me give you the first set of special words. Well, W-E-L-L, comma. Don't write out comma, just make the comma. Well, comma, you know how. Now, when you say, well, you know how, the back of their mind, the part that runs their life says, well, if I know how, then it must be true because what I know is true. And this is the decision-making part of the human brain. So let me show you how that would work. You might say, well, you know how losing weight is difficult? Oh, yeah, I love you, man. And, well, you know how it would be great to diet if we weren't hungry? Oh, yeah. And, well, you know how we all would like to feel like we're 16 years old all over again, but with better judgment? And, well, you know how we like to have so much energy, our grandchildren whining, Grandma, slow down, I can't keep up? Yeah, that'd be great, too. And how we doing? When you say, well, you know how, they just naturally want to go along. If you stand by the coffee machine at work, people talk. And when they want you to believe and go along with what they say, they just naturally say, well, you know how. Just listen to how the conversation goes. Well, you know how it only rains on weekends, and well, you know how we just don't have enough time, and well, you know how the kids don't listen to us, and well, you know how the sports team always lets us down, and well, you know how the coffee here really stinks, and well, you know, there's just nothing but a bunch of whiny losers around this coffee machine, and well, you know how we just won't do anything. Does that sound familiar? Do me a favor. I'm going to ask you in a moment to turn to your partner. You're going to look them directly in the eyes, but you're only going to say 4 words. Well, you know how. And I want you to say those 4 words and stop after those 4 words. But I want you then to feel inside how rejection-free and natural that felt to say, so you know that anybody can do it anywhere without turning on any stupid salesman alarm. So can we all do this? going to ask you to turn to your partner right now, look him in the eye, and say, well, you know how. Let's begin. All right, let's see what happened here. Number one.
No, I don't actually.
How many people found that rejection free? Number two, did that feel good inside to say? But number three, how many people here noticed when you said, well, you know how, that your partner began nodding yes uncontrollably? Now, there's a program in the human mind that says if anybody, anywhere, at any time ever says, well, you know how, start nodding yes uncontrollably, agree with whatever they say next, even though you don't even know what it's going to be. Number four, how many people here notice your partner was smiling? Because the program in the back of humans says if anybody, anywhere, at any time says, well, you know how, start nodding yes uncontrollably, agree with whatever they say next, even though you don't even know what it's going to be, and smile and perfect before. It doesn't get any easier than that. So if you put, well, you know how in front of any fact, that's like rapport on steroids. So what could you say? Well, you know how it'd be great never to show up for work again? Well, you know how we're tired of working for this dream-sucking vampire boss taking little bits of our brain out every day, turning us into human zombies? Well, you know how we're tired of buying chapstick by the case because we have a full-time job kissing our bosses behind? And well, you know how we hate warehousing our babies in daycare? And well, you know how... And just that easy, people are going to get, neck pain from just nodding yes. Because you said, well, you know how. So you're all ready? Turn to your partner, say, well, you know how, insert any fact, and see how good that feels to start your conversation. All ready? Let's begin.
I know.
Well, you know how.
All right, how'd that go? Ready for the next set of words?
It's male and over 50.
I'm just curious, how many people here have ever met a stranger but didn't know what to say to the stranger? And I'm just curious, did we avoid them because we're afraid of rejection? Or I'm just curious, did we avoid them because maybe we didn't know what to say? But I'm just curious, if you could talk to almost anybody rejection-free, how cool would that be? And I'm just curious if you could build instant rapport with even the deepest, darkest stranger with just 4 words. Well, I'm just curious, how many people here would like to know these 4 words? So I'm just curious, how many people here have a pencil and paper ready? And I'm just curious, how many people here have a partner who's already figured out what these 4 words are? And I'm just curious, how many people here are just going to be here all day long not figuring out what these 4 words are? But I'm just curious if you could just copy I am just curious from your partner's paper so we can move on quicker. Let me tell you about these 4 words. I am just curious. Magic. Before I knew these 4 words, I was a nerd with no prospects. After I learned these 4 words, I was a nerd with lots of prospects. It won't fix your nerdness, but oh, it will give you prospects. And all you have to do is say, I am just curious, and all kind of programs click off in their mind, it's over. When you say, I am just curious, the back of their mind says, open up your heart and tell them anything they want, even your deepest, darkest secrets. So please don't ask them, I'm just curious, what'd you do last night? More info than you may need to know. Now, when you say, I'm just curious, the back of the mind says, and feel obligated to help them any way possible within reason. So when you say, I'm just curious, the deepest, darkest stranger opens up their heart and wants to help you. An awesome way to start a conversation. So let's just try this. You're in the grocery store. The person in front of you has deep fried bacon, deep fried donuts, deep fried everything, and a 6-pack of Diet Coke. And you want to start a conversation with them, what 4 words can we use? I am just curious, do you enjoy the taste of Diet Coke? And you're in conversation. Just by saying, I am just curious, you can start a conversation with anyone. Or you might say, I'm just curious. Have you been a security guard here long? I'm just curious, do you ever have to work weekends? I'm just curious, would you like to earn more money? I'm just curious, have you ever thought about being your own boss? I'm just curious. With anyone, conversation, instant and immediate. So if you had a couple words, you bite on one wrist, but well, you know how, and the other one, I am just curious. And so if you couldn't think of what to say to somebody, you just go and read. But I'm just curious, do you like eating food? I'm just curious, what's your favorite food? I'm just curious, have you been here at Weight Watchers long? I'm just curious, were you thin in high school? I'm just curious if you can move so I can see the movie screen. No, you got to say the report, right? But I'm just curious, do you work out? I'm just curious, do you exercise? Great way to start a conversation with even the deepest, darkest stranger. So can we try this just for a second? Turn to your partner right now and just try and I am just curious. And if you can't think of what to say, turn to your partner and say, I'm just curious, would you go first? All right? Everybody ready? Give it a try.